And it is now 6 p.m. Pacific time, and good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to this month's call from the Stages of Love. This is Thomas Kuster, and the title for this month is Bottomless and Bountiful. It was really funny because I had posted Bottomless and Bountiful as the this month's call title, and one of the folks that joins the calls and has been in some of our programs, she said, Thomas, I don't like bottomless. I like big bottoms. It just struck me really funny, and I'm sure she'd appreciate my sharing that with you guys. But anyway, of course, we're not talking about that kind of bottom. To be bottomless is to be immeasurably deep, an immeasurable amount of space, if you will. Maybe you could just call it limitless. And to be bountiful is to be generous, unselfish, magnanimous. So what is it that I refer to as bottomless and bountiful? Not a question that you have to answer out loud, but maybe something you can just consider for yourself this moment. What is that I refer to as bottomless and bountiful? And as you're thinking about that just for a moment, I'd like to welcome those of you to the call who may have never been on calls before, and I kind of give you an idea of how the call goes. First of all, I invite anybody and everybody to express themselves, to share, ask questions, whatever it is that's there for you as we go along. I'll give you opportunities and you'll know, because right now everybody is muted, so if you're trying to talk to me, you can't. But there will be moments when I'll open the line, and how you share is by simply saying your first name. And when you say your first name, I'll call on you, and then we can interact and you can share whatever's there for you. So what is it then I refer to as bottomless and bountiful? Well, pure love, of course. What I call quantum love. Quantum love is bountiful and it's bottomless, but as generous, as open-minded, as unselfish, and how limitless it is. There is something, some way that we interact with life that interferes with the experience and expression of this magnificent truth. What is that? What is that interferes with the experience and the expression of this magnificent truth? Again, just allow yourself to think it through so that when we do open for sharing, you'll have some things that you might want to put out here. I do want you to consider that it is holding on to. Holding on to what? Well, it's holding on to the seeming need, the emotions, the thoughts, the feelings, the seeming need to protect myself. And of course, I'm not talking about physically protecting yourself. And in fact, I'm not even talking about yourself. It is the seeming reality of the small self. And when I refer to the small self, I mean the identity, the character, the ego, the way that one might relate to one's self as who they think they really are. And that self, that small self, one component of it that's very, very strong is that it holds on to that which it thinks will protect it, that which will perpetuate its existence. Because you know that small self pretends that it is really who you are. And every single person on this call and every single person listening to this recording has had experience of being free from that limitation, even for a few seconds or a minute even. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, but there's a tug of war for that one, those people, you and me, who are spiritual seekers. So take a look right this moment, because in about a minute, I'm going to open the line so that you can just speak up. And right now, there may not be a whole lot cultivated over there, but if you will, what have you been holding on to? Take a look. Take a look in your relationships, the relationships that are very important to you. Use that as a reference point. What lately have you been holding on to? And the holding on to it, whatever that is, the one thing that you can notice is that it has cost you or is costing you space. Space, like freedom. Now, how do we know when space is the cost or freedom is the cost? A lack or loss of aliveness. You see, when you have a lot of space and freedom, you're fully alive. It doesn't matter the circumstances. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter how one person or another might be acting or not acting. So aliveness is your gauge. So I'm going to stop talking just for 30 seconds or so and give you an opportunity just to think for a moment. Lately, what have you been holding on to? I'll let you know when I'm going to open the line.
You are now unmuted.
I've opened the line, and anybody who's ready, just say your first name and just share. What have you been holding on to? Or you can really share or talk about anything that's there for you related to the conversation. Okay. I'm going to move on. Oops.
Well,
Say that one more time.
this is Antonia.
Yeah, Antonia, please.
Well, when I hear this bottomless love, my identity is fiercely objecting and basically saying, no, there's only so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much you can give, and that's it. Otherwise, you're going to be or disappearing or losing yourself, or you don't have control anymore over your life.
And it feels very real, right?
Oh, my gosh, yes. And it's
very real.
It's really crazy, too, but it's immediately, there's only so much I can give.
Yes, that's right. So it's almost like love has an end and a beginning. It's almost like we equate the energy of love with an actual giving of something that has density or mass to it. Right. Like, for instance, if I was going to share money with you, there's only so much money that I have.
Right. I have only one cup of love for a certain
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And, our good friend Dr. Gerald Jampowski, who wrote Love is Letting Go of Fear, in the very first lesson that Jerry teaches is all that I give, all of it, everything that I give, when it comes from this limitless love, I'm literally giving it back to myself. So thanks, Antonia. There's nothing we're going to do with it right now. Is that okay? We're just opening up the conversation. Thank you so much. Anybody else in this moment? Okay, very good. I'm going to mute and continue the conversation.
You are now muted.
So holding on to thoughts, emotions, feelings, anything that looks like or sounds like it's going to protect my small self, just as Antonia shared, you can hear there's something about the small self fighting for its survival, that somehow it could lose, which, by the way, it really could, right? It really could lose itself, and then what are you going to get? You're going to get more of who you really are, but that's a different conversation, because that which isn't the you we speak of is the one that is trying to protect itself. The quantum love, pure love, is immeasurable. That is, it's limitless. And if you can understand space, you see, space, for the person who's interested in the quantum self, space is very important. And I don't mean space like the distance between California and New York. I mean space as in the space within. You see, at the quantum level, if you measure the space of a human being is 99.9% empty space. Just like the universe is 99.9% empty space. But rarely is it my experience that I'm empty space. And any close relationship that you may have, any kind of relationship, close or intimate, it will quickly expose how dense, how thick, how full the space is over there where you are. Don't know if that lands completely, but just stay with me for a moment, because the pull, that is P-U-L-L, the pull to protect has us do violence at the level of spiritual. And every time we're doing violence, and by the way, that looks like a fight to protect, a fight to hold on to, a fight to create a certain kind of boundary. And by the way, anytime I talk about boundaries, it does drive up stuff for people, because they sometimes think that I'm saying they shouldn't have boundaries. Absolutely should have boundaries. But the you that's making the boundaries is the you that's crushing the quantum self. It's not the other way around. So those boundaries don't necessarily serve you. But instead they add critical mass to this small self, this self that you think is you, the one you relate to as you, and the one that perpetuates itself to cover over the real essence, that real connection to spirit that we all crave. For you to be committed to an extraordinary relationship, for you to be committed to this spiritual connection, comes with the willingness to stop. That is, to let go of the drive or the desire to control others, to control life situations, to control events. Letting go of that which does violence at the level of spirit. And what is that? What is that which we hold on to that does violence? Well, anything like jealousy or possessiveness, guilt or shame. How about blame? Anything in that vein does violence to your spirit. And when you're doing violence to your spirit, can you see that it limits the experience and the expression of pure love. You see, the counterfeit love that we've all been doused in, that we've been trained in, that we grew up in is not the love I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the love where you hold each other tight and you kiss and you say, oh, everything's going to be okay. That can get evoked by pure love. That can get evoked by what I'm speaking of. It's just not the thing that I'm speaking of. But that's the thing that we think of, and therefore everything about the small self gets driven up in fear. The fear of loss. The fear of losing myself. The fear of losing even the other person, which I find very interesting because many times the small self that's very concerned about losing itself has one way that it reacts and bees, whereas another small self who needs or thinks it needs some external form of love coming back on it has a fear of losing that external form. So it's an interesting tug of war that is a waste of energy, a waste of life energy, unnecessary. Though not always easy to let go of, definitely where to practice. You can observe how little space you have inwardly because you and I are crowded. We're crowded with noise and chatter and images and symbols and opinions. There's just no space at all, no real freedom because you and I are never really silent. The small self is incessantly active, protecting itself, comparing and judging, condemning, blaming and shaming itself and others. So what might be a powerful access? A powerful access to getting present to the noise as an observer versus being the noise is meditation. And there's many forms of meditation, and those of you who are here with me have practiced meditation with me, and I encourage you, because I know that the practice goes out of existence, right? I encourage you to put in the daily practice. If you're somebody new to the call and you need one of the meditations, because all the meditations that I have constructed are designed for people who don't really meditate, who want to learn how, who want to get in touch with it, but maybe they have a particular resistance to the quiet. So I walk you through, talk you through. And they're very powerful for that. And it gives you the possibility of being thought conscious as the observer versus you being the thoughts. And as you observe, what you start to notice is you can gently let go. Can you let go of everything? Well, eventually, yes. You are so powerful, you absolutely can. But all I'm asking you to do is not to control the internal, but to let go of that which interferes with the bottomless and bountiful reality that is you, the quantum self. Simply let go of what you can let go of. Do you understand? This is not something to force. If you were to look right now and just consider, what could I let go of? For no reason other than just to be the free, limitless self that I am, what could I let go of? Nothing to save and nothing to protect. What can you let go of right now, right this minute? Take a moment and really look. What are you willing to let go of right this minute? What can you let go of? Take a moment and look, and I'll open the line. It's not open yet, so I want you to really think it through And I'd like to hear from 2 or 3 of you. Not yet. Just keep looking. Take about a minute, and I'll open the line. I'll let you know when.
You are now unmuted.
The line's open. Anybody who's ready, just say your first name. And let me know. Yeah, Wade. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Fantastic.
So
It's good to hear you.
I'm letting go of this feeling that of loss around not being in a relationship yet.
Very good, Wade. Now, let me ask you something. Would you consider that feeling a possible feeling habit? Now, stay with me. It wouldn't be a feeling habit like always having to have the relationship, but even with the relationship, that feeling somehow dominates over there where you are, like a feeling habit.
Yeah.
Very good. Then what I hear you saying is you're going to practice letting go of that feeling habit. And the coaching I have for you, Wade, is as you look or feel that, get a sense of what it feels like, because it'll show up in many different areas. And if you're able to let go, okay. The dog person, mute yourself. Dog person, mute yourself. Then whatever that is, you can practice letting go of it at the level of feeling versus the level of words. And that'll get it faster and more powerful for you. Whoever has the dog, please mute yourself. Please, thank you. Got it, Wade? Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, thank you. Somebody else, what are you willing or what can you let go of this very moment?
This is Antonia.
Thank you, Antonia.
I can let go of my identity comparing my current relationship with Cliff with all my past relationships.
Okay. Now, can I ask you a couple questions about it?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. In this world of comparison, have you tried to or have you let go of that before?
No. I haven't.
Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, good. So it's new for you to let go of that, the comparing.
Yeah.
All right. So the thing you want to know about it is that for the small self, comparison perpetuates the illusion of protection. So it's going to be very important for you to know that letting go of comparison is a full-time job. It's a full-time job. Yeah, and it's not a hard job unless you make it mean something. So what I'm going to suggest is that you let go of that it means anything. I think that might be a better place to start.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I agree.
Thank you. Thanks, Antonia. Let's get one more person. Come on. One more person. What are you willing to let go of, or what can you let go of this very moment?
Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, everyone. So recently, I started seeing someone that I had separated from years ago.
Yeah.
And what I can let go of is the agenda I have.
Very powerful. I got that. I don't think there's anything I need to put in with you. I think that's right on.
Okay. Thank you.
Practice letting go of that agenda. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna mute unless there's somebody else. I'll give you a second to pop in if you want. Okay, then I'm muting everybody.
You are now muted.
Okay, very, very good. So when one starts to practice letting go of that which you can let go of, the next level of letting go that you'll start to notice is the possibility of letting go of everything connected to the small self ongoingly. The greed, the envy, the violence, the jealousy, the hatred, everything that comprises that identity, if you will. You just practice letting go of those independently, individually, and eventually you start realizing, wow, I'm now letting go of this artificial me, perhaps. And then you start to experience more the quantum self, the bottomless and immeasurable experience of quantum love. And ultimately, that's our game. Is it the right game? I don't know. But is it a good game? Absolutely. Is it empowering? Absolutely. And for this month, that's what I want to leave you with, is the possibility of letting go to the point that you start to experience this who you really are, connected to the spiritual realm. So, for those of you who are on the call tonight, thank you very, very much for being here and spending these 20, 30 minutes with me. For those of you listening to the recording, thank you for your interest in what we have to share and what we're trying to open up together. And I'd like to remind those of you who don't know remind those of you who know and share with you who don't know, this coming Thursday, I will be doing the Heart Shift event in Reno, Nevada, and it's at 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. at the Institute for Inspired Living, and you can get the address and such on my website under events. April 20th, I may have listed it as April 18th, I'm not sure, but it's actually Thursday, April 20th. I'll be in Fresno, May 25th, Tahoe, and June 15th, San Francisco. So if any of those are good for you, please go online to the events and register for those. And then look for my next major event, which will be called the Quantum Shift, Practicing Honoring Life Unfolding. This will be a new format, one full day, Saturday, August 18th, 10 a.m. until 7 p.m., followed by 3 follow-up webinars. Again, you can check that out on the website. Next month's call is April 16th, 6 p.m., same telephone number. Please share our work, have people join and be with us. And thank you all very, very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye-bye.